Hi there, this is Andy Ron with Montana Land Source. It is September 28th, 2022, and this is the video summary of the weekly Montana Land Report. We put out the Montana Land Report every week, every Wednesday here at mtlandsource.com, and it highlights rural land real estate activity for the state of Montana. Over the past 7 days in Montana, we've had 17 property updates, 5 new listings, 4 price changes, 5 pending sales, and 3 sales. So we're continuing to see this low inventory environment. We're hovering around 330 listings on the market on any given day. And if you look at the live market stats that we host on MontanaLandSource.com, the number of properties for sale right now on the Montana land market is down 33% from a year ago today and down 86% from 2 years ago. Also interesting, just looking at the stats, new listings for the year, so properties that came on just during this calendar year, down 100% from 2021, but up slightly from 8% from 2020. So if people remember, 2020 was negatively impacted, the land market in Montana was negatively impacted by COVID, at least for the first 6 months of the year. That was when lockdown first happened. So showings and sales and activity basically ground to a halt, but then caught up pretty fast at the tail end of the year. And then in 2021 was a record year in the Montana land market, and that largely was driven or contributed to by COVID. We had lots of COVID refugees, as I've called them, people kind of flocking to Montana in the aftermath of COVID. So it's interesting to look back at the last 2 years. Again, 2020 with some negative impact, 2021 extraordinary high market in Montana, historic market in Montana. And then 2022, where we're sitting today, still some demand, quite a bit of demand and whatnot, but restricted supply. And we're just riding out that environment. It'll be interesting to see. We're heading into fall and winter, where the land market usually slows down a bit due to weather and whatnot. We're just kind of seeing things creep along. Definitely seeing an uptick in new listings, not really an uptick in sales. Definitely an uptick in price changes, seeing the market correct somewhat and sellers motivated to lower their pricing to get properties sold. In other news, in Montana land events, we've got a couple seminars coming up. There's a group out of the Northwest that does seminars, and there's a couple of those coming up, and I have those on the calendar at MontanaLandSource.com. There's been some confusion. Those are not tied to Montana Land Source in any way. I just maintain that calendar for any events that are of interest to the Montana land market. So if you have events that you'd like to see on there, feel free to send them my way. Any continuing ed or education events or seminar events or that kind of stuff, we put on the calendar. And then as far as new Ranch Investor podcast episodes, there's a couple new podcasts up. I actually haven't been on the podcast for a few episodes. Coulter and I haven't been able to match our schedules. I guess it's been a busy summer. But the newest podcast on ranchinvestor.com is about co-op ranching. We also have recent podcasts up about fossil rights and carbon credits. So continue to be really proud of the podcast content that we're putting out there. You can access those right on the website at mtlandsource.com, or you can also access those anywhere you access podcasts. Just look for Ranch Investor in the podcast. That is the news, I believe, for this week. We are not going to have a Montana Farm and Ranch Brokers meeting this upcoming month, usually the first Thursday of the month, because we had an impromptu meeting with John Tester that you can read about on mtlandsource.com. I think that went in last week's land report. So no meeting there next month, and that's the report for this week. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate it. Please share and like and whatnot. You can find us on YouTube, of course, at mtlandsource.com, and Facebook and LinkedIn. Thanks everybody. Have a safe and productive week.